you are refraining from all the muharramat. The actual reason I chose this was because when you say ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ وَلَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Now, my understanding and my experience from our community, which we believe to be lover of al-Bayt, is that when the Prophet says, in one of the very famous hadith called Hadith al-Thaqalain, إِنِّي تَارِكٌ فِيكُمُ الثَّقَلَيْنِ كِتَابَ اللَّهِ وَإِطْرَةِ أَهْلِ بَيْتِي وَإِن تَمَسَّكْتُمْ بِهِ لَن تَضِلُّوا بَعْدِي. Prophet had made it really, really clear before he departed that hold fast with both Quran and the Ahlul Bayt. Unfortunately, we as a lover of Ahlul Bayt probably do not give enough importance to the Quran. I have been noticing this thing over years, and I've been going to many centers, and I just thought this is a general attitude for us to say that, okay, yes, we are the lover of Ahlul Bayt, we are the followers of Imam Ali, and we are the Shia. We celebrate their birth, we attend their majalises, we name our children the name of Ahlul Bayt. But what about the Quran? I was actually looking at the Tafsir al-Mizan, and there was a bit of a quote from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In one of his sermons, he said, I would like to read some of this. Therefore, when mischief come to confuse you, like the segment of the darkened night, then hold fast to the Quran, as it is the intercessor whose intercession shall be granted, and a credible advocate, and whoever keeps it before him, it will lead him to the garden. I don't want to read the next bit because it's slightly a bit rude, in a way that we feel a bit awkward. But basically it says that Quran is also need to be given due importance. And sometimes we feel that when we do something like reading Quran, doing any specific act, doing any ibadat, we don't realize that how much benefit do we get, literally physical benefits. And the more advancement we are being made in the science and technology, in the medicine, we realize that there are lots of miracles, there are lots of knowledge. And the physical and physiological and medical benefits we get in our body. I remember that one of the things I read a while ago, that there was a Japanese scientist who actually had 2 glasses of water, and he put one glass in a room and a second glass into another room. What he did basically for 24 hours, for some time, he played music in one of the room, and somehow he knew about the Quran, so he played Quran verses in the room. When he finished that experiment, he took some of the drops out from those where he played the music. Took the water out, a couple of drops into the microscope. And the way he interpreted his expression was that when I looked into the microscope, those drops of water which came from the glass where the music was played feel like dull, sort of tired, not well at all. Then he took some more drops from the other glass where he played music. He played the Quran. He put it in a room where the Quran was being recited or being played on a tape recorder. He took some of the drops out and put under the microscope again. And then what he observed, he said those drops of water were really shiny, very gloomy, very healthy. And then there was a question. He said that sort of effect, physical effect, can happen on water. And scientists believe that at least 70% or more of our body is water. Now, I'm not saying that, of course, that we listen to a lot of music, but doesn't that mean that we should take more advantage of listening and reading more Quran? Quran has obviously certain aspects. First of all, we would like to read it properly. One of the hadiths was saying that one of the angels were flying, there was some lights coming from some of the houses in the earth, and the angel was saying, what these lights are from? So somebody said, those places where the Quran is being recited. Now, my understanding is that most of us Shia, we don't recite Quran properly. Does that mean anything? Does it make any difference? I think it does. Because when we do this Dua Jushan Kabir, we recite this, Subhanaka ya la ilaha illa khalasna minna ya Rab, and we actually blow it. It does have an effect. When you recite the Quran, it does have an effect. When you recite the Quran properly, it does have an effect. Actually, when I was listening to this, reading this thing that the angels say that the people are reciting the Quran, therefore the light were coming, I thought straight away that if the angels can see the lights coming from that house, I'm sure that the intensity of the light will increase if the Quran is being recited properly. It also means that should we also just, sometimes we say that, oh, we don't understand Quran. What's the point of reciting Quran if you don't understand it? Yes? I remember that when we were in 127 Labra Road, Ayatollah Akhil Ravi recited a majlis. Some of you probably remember that. And he said clearly that if Ayatollah would have said that it is obligatory on us, specifically the lover of Alibet, to learn some Arabic. It's not very hard. I don't know much Arabic. But if you try to, it's like it says in the Quran that the more effort you make, the more benefit you'll get. If you can learn Quran, recite it properly, we get loads and loads and loads of benefits. As I said, the recitation of Quran can start, the way we recite, I remember that somebody said many years ago that when we do a salawat, we recite salawat with the pronunciation of sin. We say, Allahumma salli, God forbid. That means that, oh Allah, talwar chalana. It's like kill the sword. We believe that when we try to go for a higher exam, we try to get our kid admitted into Oxford and Cambridge. We tell them to work very hard. And we really, really compete because the reward is higher. I remember that somebody had, one of their kids got admission in Imperial College. And the senior person from our community, who was very knowledgeable, he said, oh, so that person has saved his future. Why? Because the person has got an admission in one of the top universities. He or she must have worked very hard, must have done really, really a lot of religion, given a lot of time, did a lot of commitment. It's basically our commitment and our tawfiq from Allah, which will help us to do and learn more. And it's all going to pay us back. Sometimes we don't realize. I remember that there was a story when I read the Musa Kalimullah was on a river bank. He was walking and he saw an incident and he stopped there and he just kept on watching. He saw as one of the sun worshipper came. He put his net to catch some fish. He pulled it out after like a few minutes and there was loads of fish. He put it on the side. He put his net again. Within a few minutes, he got another huge amount of fish. He did it 3 times and there was almost a reasonable sort of mountain with the fish. Then he saw the other person came, he did his wudu, he prayed 2 rakat, and then he put his net almost in the same place. He pulled the net out after a few minutes, it was empty. Second time, he did the 2 rakat namaz, he put his net again, he pulled it out, it was empty again. The third time when he put his net, he pulled the net out, there was 1 fish. And as we know, the Musa was Kalimullah, he could communicate with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, Allah, I know there must be some reason, but I don't understand. This guy doesn't believe you. In the same place, he put net 3 times, and he ended up with a huge, it's a sort of heap, a small mountain of the fish. He can sell and get a lot of money. Then Allah said, Musa, you know that what I know you don't. And Musa said, yes, I want to sort of ask. He said, look, he's like, okay, look at the side. Then he saw there was a bigger mountain compared to that fish with golds, with pearls, with diamonds. And Musa straight away said, oh Allah, who is this for? And Allah said, this is for that moment. If you were me, what would you do? Would you just give him this reward for this in this world? How long this pile of fish will last? A little while. And then it will end up. But because he is my sincere, obedient mu'min, I won't reward him much more than that. At times we feel that we don't get what we want. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wal asr innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa amilus salihat wa tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bis sabr. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa alihi tayyibin at-tahirin. Allahumma salli ala Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Shafi'il Mudhnibin Muhammadin sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib. اللهم صل على فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين. اللهم صل على سيدنا حسن المجتبى. اللهم صل على أبا عبد الله الحسين حسين الشهيد بكربلاء. اللهم صل وسلم على علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن والخلف الهادي المهدي. أجل الله تعالى فرجه وسأل الله مخرجك ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إذا زلزلت الأرض زلزالها وأخرجت الأرض أثقالها وقال الإنسان ما لها يومئذ تحدث أخبارها بأن ربك أوحى لها يومئذ يصدر الناس أشتاتا ليروا أعمالهم فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يره ومن يعمل مثقال ذرة شرا يره. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. We talked about our Quran a bit. Now, what can we do about? I think the Jamaat is doing really enough efforts, and it's us. As I said in my previous khutbah, وَإِلَّا سَلِّ الْإِنسَانَ إِلَّا مَا سَعَى. Allah said, it depends how much effort you make. The more effort you make, the more you learn, the more you get about it. Jamaat is making enough effort because, unfortunately, in our lover of Al-Bayt community, we don't have any gathering except in Iran. I've seen loads and loads of people actually participating in a gathering where the people are reciting Quran. And it can go on and on for hours and hours now. We know we have sort of similar gathering goes hours and hours, but I've not known anything in that non-Iranian community, but we have any gathering where you have lots of parties. Recently, I've noticed that Jamaat has arranged some sort of Quran recitation before any program. Really, really good effort. They have this Quran competition. Last time I participated, how many people were there? Very few. And one of very recent examples, some of you have known that one individual child, I think he made so much effort that when he recited in the competition, he did not only win the trophy, but he surprised those people. He must have learned from somebody who's not from Madhab of Al-Bayt. He was reciting very, very nicely. I was really impressed. But does this thing happen in overnight? He must have made enough effort. I've been learning Quran for many years. I'm teaching my kids by myself, and I'm making effort to teach anyone else. But this kid did not come to me. But when he was reciting on that completion, I knew him, but I didn't know that where did he learn. He was really reciting the proper taqi, the proper makhraj. Now when we say that any language is supposed to be recited, the best language is the Arabic language. Of course, the Quran is revealed on that. So if you recite Quran the way it should be recited, it had much more impact. But it's just because we sort of overlook on things. As I said, then if you prepare your child to take any exam for any higher institution or any interview, We make a lot of effort. We try to get lots of resources. We try to help them with the internet, with the computer, with the phone. And nowadays, to be honest, there is no excuse. Yesterday, I was talking to one of Maulana from London, and he said a very good sentence. He said, "This Islam, our religion, is not a part-time job. It's a full-time job. It's not that when you feel, I mean, to be honest, I'm sorry, I'm trying to be a bit critical, but that's what I've been observing the last seven years. I mean, we have a program in this mosque. Most of the program runs for an hour and a half, two hours by the most. And it starts on time, on dead on time, sometimes finishes on time. But same time, we just don't give enough importance. I've seen lots of programs where the program runs for 2.5, 3 hours. Half of the mosque is, or 3/4 of a mosque is empty until half an hour or an hour to it, which means that only 1 hour program left. And then people start leaving before that. Again, I was going to say that if you spend time here in the mosque, you will learn something. If you spend time in the mosque outside having chatting, that's not bad, but you won't learn much. All the socialization, we can do it afterward. Lots of kids, it's our duty. What did Prophet say? That the children have two rights at least for their parents. The parents should give them a good name, and parents should give them their good teaching, good upbringing, good education. Now, I know, of course, that lots of us, unfortunately, cannot, sort of teach or help in the Quran. But if you can't teach them science, what do? We get a tuition, right? And how much do we pay? Here in this mosque, I've noticed there was actually a note from one of the qualified teachers, £25 an hour. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to have, but how much money do we pay per hour for a Quran teacher? £3? £2.50? It's again saying that either we have a lack of understanding that how much importance should we give, and then if you give £25 an hour to teach, to learn chemistry, physics, and maths, the kid will learn chemistry, physics, and math very well. I can go on and on and on. I haven't got that much time, but last thing I would say that many years ago I was in London and there was an issue. There was a meeting on one of the Sunday. Lots of people were there, and they were saying that the kids in the madrasa don't turn up. There are very few kids, and most of the mosques in the south have the madrasa on Sunday. In the Midland, we have on Saturday, but that's beside the point. I put my hand up. That was many years ago, and unfortunately, I didn't get a chance. After that, I saw this president, and I said, I want to say something really important, and you didn't give me a chance. I said, can you pass this message? And he said, what is it? I said, I'm sure it's really important. I said, when we have a meeting that the kids don't turn up to the madrasa, did we ever have a meeting that kids don't turn up to the school? No. Why not? Because lots of us say, okay, 7 o'clock, 7:30, get up. The school starts at 8:30, you have to be there on time. Monday to Friday, in our madrasa, probably this is the last thing, in our madrasa, I go and teach for 5-6 years. We have a shortage of teachers. Do not realize that how important it is? If you teach one good verse to one kid, it's like only Allah knows how much reward do we get. We should be fighting. I remember that Maulana Sadiq Khan said once that some of these deeds, actions, for example, giving ghusl to a dead mu'min, is so much important, so much sawab that we should have been fighting over that. No, you did it last week, I'm going to do it this week. But I'm sure that the sawab to teach kids, especially in this atmosphere, in this country, in this culture, would not be any less. We always have a shortage of a teacher. And the worst thing is that even if you have a teacher, as I said that in that meeting in London, they said that the kids don't turn up to the madrasa. Same thing we have it here. I know people travel 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 miles, Monday to Friday. They get to their school at 8:30. We have madrasa only on Saturday, one day. It starts at 10:30. I start teaching at 10:30. There are only 2 kids there. Someone comes at 10:35. The one comes 10:40. The next one. Most of them are 11 years old. I can't say anything to any of them because they just cannot come by themselves. It goes to their parents. Last thing I'm going to say that today I received another very good text. It's in Urdu. I might be able to translate it. And this is probably sort of summarized. It says that if you want to, उर्दू में कहते हैं अगर तुम ऐसी ज़िंदगी गुजारना चाहते हो मौत के बाद जो तुम्हारी मर्जी की हो तो अपनी ज़िंदगी को जो मौत से पहले की खुदा की मर्जी के मुताबिक गुजारो. वह मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु. I have to make a personal request. My mother is not very well. So can we recite 5 times Majib she's been quite unwell for quite some time. So I hope that inshallah, بتفعل بمار Karbala and بتفعل بمار Medina Bibi Sughra, and with your prayers, Allah should give her complete shifa. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء 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 أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف. سورة فاتحة شفاء مرضى.